Good morning, garden friends. I'm standing here in front of the pond garden, and as you can see, there's some white stuff on the ground. It's April, and yeah, we still have snow. Yesterday, we had a bit of a system move through, and it looked like a blizzard for a little while. We got a couple inches of snow, just enough to make it annoying and delay working in the garden a little bit more. So yeah, today I thought I'd do a quick video because I haven't done one in like 2 weeks. The weather has just been not conducive to getting anything done. It's been up and down and cold and rainy, and yes, I'm whining about the weather. It's New England and it's spring, and it's the cruelest part of the season because the sun is warm and bright and higher in the sky, and you just want to get outside and do stuff, and then it snows or it's 20 degrees and and everything is mud in between. So it's been a frustrating spring so far, but we'll get through it. And Friday it's going to be like 70, so there you go. So today, just a quick video. I want to give you an update on what's going on in the greenhouse. It's nice and warm in the greenhouse. It's like 30 degrees right now and windy, so it's cold. So let's go into the nice warm greenhouse and show you what's going on in there. Lots of stuff in there. And then I've got a cute little surprise for you up in the barn. So let's go take a look. On our way to the greenhouse, we'll just casually walk by this pile of cute little plants that I recently purchased to go in behind the house in the barn slope garden. Won't spend too much time on this because, of course, there will be videos once these are installed. But I'm very excited that the garden centers are finally starting to get materials in, and yeah, it's been a long time since I've gone shopping in a garden center, and oh, yay! I'm so happy. On the way into the greenhouse, I thought I'd just pop into the house and show you what I've got going on here under grow lights. I sowed all of my greens for the vegetable garden, all kinds of things. The kale that I always grow, cabbage, broccolis, cauliflower. Let's see, lettuce, all kinds of lettuce. This is a whole tray of spinach. And oh, here is the a tray of woodland tobacco that I'm having trouble germinating, actually. And then over here, in this big grow light section, more stuff, more brassicas of all kinds. And I think this tray is a whole tray of Salanova lettuce. I've got lettuces in here as well. Some kohlrabi, all kinds of things. And then some more flowers. This is Cosmos. And then Tithonia, yellow and orange and yellow Tithonia. I haven't yet sown my sunflowers because I'm out of space here. So as soon as I get one of these trays to germinate, out it goes into the greenhouse. So when we go out in the greenhouse, you'll see that I don't have a lot of room for these, so stuff is going to have to start moving, hardening off outside pretty soon. So let's hope the weather cooperates before I completely run out of room in the greenhouse. All right, so let's head out to the greenhouse. Most of the snow has melted off around the greenhouse, so just the pond and the vegetable garden is completely covered in snow, but most of the snow is melted out in the pasture already. The sun is really strong. All right, let's go into the greenhouse. Immediately you can see that it's looking a little bit different. Plants everywhere. Actually, when I first walked in, I fogged up my lens because it's so warm and humid in here. But yeah, I'm almost out of shelf space. I'm actually going to have to be putting things down on the ground here along the front of the greenhouse and underneath the benches because it's filling up pretty quick. So let me give you a tour of what's happening here in the greenhouse. Here by the door, I'm actually going to close this door a little bit because it's 30 degrees out. Hold on one sec. It's 30 degrees out, and yeah, the greenhouse is really warm. So yeah, like I had mentioned, the garden centers are starting to get things in, and so of course I went shopping. So yeah, a bunch of quart perennials were on sale. I got some sedums for the rock wall, a bunch of heucheras, and some tiarellas, some lamb's ears, which I love lamb's ears. I could pet them all day. And then some more, some creeping phlox and hens and chicks for the rock wall behind the barn that we talked about in my last video. And then a couple things for the herb garden. Here's some lemongrass, which is not hardy here and dies every year, but I love to have it in the herb garden. And then my new favorite, pineapple sage. Oh my god, this stuff smells so good. I got 2 plants this year. And again, it's not hardy here, so it dies every year. And so I have to replace it. But if you've never planted pineapple sage, get yourself a plant and put it where you can walk by it and smell these leaves. Oh my god, they're so good. And the flowers are gorgeous too. All right, up here. Wow, where to even begin? A lot of these are the perennials that I sowed in smaller seed trays, like, for example, down here, these little seed trays like that. And once they got to be about this size, yeah, I'm going to have to do these today. Once they got to be about that size, I pricked them out and put them into these little 6-packs, individual cells 6-packs. So here's, let's see, some yarrow. This is a red mix, and this is a Colorado, yarrow Colorado mix. And then a whole bunch of other things. I've got some hollyhocks that my aunt actually gave me. So I have no idea what color they are, but I thought I'd plant them. And then a whole bunch of lavender. I've got white lavender, which is something new, and then purple lavender. This is the lavender that I have growing around the front step. This is the white version of that lavender. And then some white, some catmint, calamintha, and Persian catmint. Let's see, what else do I have up here? Some seeds up here that, oh, this is a white columbine, which I'm having trouble sprouting. But I've got a couple that actually sprouted over there. And down this aisle I've got more seeds in little seed trays. These are all hyssops, anise hyssops, different types. And then some more herbs here. These I'm going to have to pot up pretty soon. Different times, some more common sage. And then a bunch of coleus that I have to separate out and pot up into individual pots. These are, I sowed a few seeds per cell, and as you can see, there's multiple plants in each cell, so they have to come out and be potted up separately. This is a mix, what was it called? Pinto mix coleus. So it's got different colors in it, and as you can see, there are all different colors. There's a red, there are these speckled ones, and then more yellowy ones. So I want to separate them out so they can grow on individually. And then I've got this other one here, chocolate something. I'll put the name down below. And only a few of those germinated in these last rows here, but I think that's enough for me. So some more perennials that I pricked out into 6-packs. So some forget-me-nots and some Jacob's Ladder for the shade garden. All right, let me back up here. And then I have a sea of tomatoes. I do this to myself every year. I don't really like tomatoes, as I've said before, and I don't grow many plants, but somehow I end up with all these seeds, and then I grow them and end up giving away all the plants. So yeah, lots of tomatoes, just potted up into their 3-inch pots. These right here I did last week, at least a week ago. And you can see they've settled in really nicely, and they're looking very healthy. These are Brandywine, which are the potato leaf, a potato leaf variety. You can see the leaves are distinctly different than your typical tomato. These look more like potato leaves. And then from about here on, I just potted these up like a day or two days ago. And you can see they're still kind of getting over the transplant shock, but they're finally starting to mostly stand up on their own. But they'll settle in really quickly and start just growing like gangbusters. A few more trays of various things that are germinating, some, and some are being a bit resistant. Oh, here's some goji berry plants. These are the red goji berries, and these are the black or blue goji berries. Yeah, there's a lot of plants in here. I think I have 18 each. I'm not planting all 18 in the garden. I'm probably going to do like 3 of each, maybe 4, and see what happens, and then the rest will end up getting given away. Stand back here. Nothing makes me happier than a greenhouse full of green. All right, let's go down this way and see what's growing down here. I can't tell if my lens is fogging up or not. Might be. Hang on a sec. I don't know if that's better. All right, so we have the onions, the storage onions, and they're looking great. And these will be the first thing that goes out into the garden, probably in another couple of weeks once the garden dries up. And these are shallots, doing well. I've got a tray of various basils that I'm going to actually have to pot up soon, pinch back and pot up pretty soon, because it'll be a while before I can put these out. These are very tender, so they end up spending a lot of time in the greenhouse before it's safe to put them out. So I think this week's project will be potting these up and getting them a little bit more soil. They still only have like an inch block here of soil, and they're already getting pretty big. Over here I've got my red bell peppers. I just potted those up. Probably potted them up too soon, but they were in a cell tray, like this cell tray, and it was only half a cell tray. It was kind of awkward, so I figured, nah, I'll just pot them up and nurse them along in these 3-inch pots. They seem to have settled in pretty nicely, and yeah, looking good. And then we get into some annual flowers. I've got Coreopsis. This is a white, cupcake white Coreopsis. I just sowed a whole bunch, not Coreopsis, Cosmos. Yeah, Cosmos. I don't know why I said Coreopsis. Oh, cupcake white Cosmos. I'm actually going to have to thin these down. There are 2 in each cell, and most of them germinated, so I'm going to have to pick one and pull out the other. I did sow a whole bunch more Cosmos yesterday, some seashell Cosmos, a mix of colored Cosmos that I can't remember the name of right now, and then an orange one, which I'm really excited to grow, and I'll pop a picture up on the screen of that one. So I just sowed them, so they'll be a few weeks behind. And then bachelor buttons, another annual pollinator magnet that will go into the vegetable garden. And then my zinnias, and same thing, I sowed multiple seeds in each cell, and I'm just going to have to pick one, sacrifice the other to give it room to grow. If I get really motivated, I may just separate these out and try to save them all, but we'll see how much time I have. let's see. Oh, and here, these cells here, these trays, are all tobacco. Jasmine scented tobacco, Nicotiana, and then Langsdorff. And I'm struggling with them a little bit. I've never grown them from seed. This one, the jasmine scented, seems to be doing really well, and I'm slowly weeding out each cell to one really strong plant. Getting there. The Langsdorff germination has been spotty, but still getting a good number of plants. And again, I'm trying to weed it down to one strong plant per cell. In the house, I have woodland tobacco, and I can't seem to get them to germinate yet. So we'll see. We'll see if those germinate, or they're just taking a long time. The last couple of trays here, I've got, and I'm gonna mess up this name. It's a Artemisia sage. Oh, it's a big leaf sage. I'll pop a picture on the screen because I can't remember it right now. So it's an annual, and big fuzzy leaves, and it just looked interesting. So I thought I'd try to grow it. But you can see the fuzz. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but the leaves are so fuzzy. And then a final tray of some perennials. I've got some more Persian catmint, and then some echinacea. It's a paradiso mix, and then some echinops, blue glitter. So yeah, when it's snowing out and it's 30 degrees, I can just come out here and soak this all in. I can't wait for the growing season to start and to be able to get all these guys in the ground. Alright, back out into the cold. So now I'm going to take you up to the barn and show you a really cute and fuzzy surprise. Let's go. Okay, so I'm here in the barn and I want to show you Beeps. Ooh. We have new chickens. I'm going to put her back because she's scared. But we have new chickens, and the light is red because they're under a heat lamp and they're scared, so I won't stay here too long. But these are new Barred Rock chicks. They're about coming up on 2 weeks old, so they're actually starting to look like chickens now instead of little fluffy balls of fur. Oh my god, aren't they the cutest little things? So we decided to go away from the Novagen Brown production layers for our next batch. We wanted some heritage birds. Plymouth Barred Rock are an old breed, and they're considered a dual purpose breed. They're big and chunky, great egg layers, not quite as good as the production layers, but I just think they're a better bird for New England conditions. They're chunkier, they can handle the cold better, and they're friendlier, and they're so sweet. So we thought we would supplement our flock with some Plymouth Barred Rocks. These guys will be in the brooder for a while yet, and then we will have to put them out in their own separate enclosure within the regular egg layer enclosure. And we can't blend them into the flock until they're at least the same size as the current flock. So they'll have to be kept separate for a little while, but for now, they're going to stay here toasty warm because it's way too cold for them right now, and grow. So yeah, I'm going to leave them alone. I think I've petrified them enough for one day. I'm sorry. But oh my gosh, aren't they cute? Yay, chickens. Sure sign of spring. We have a little bird up here, and Those of you that know birds better than I can tell me what one it is, but singing its little heart out every morning. It's on top of our TV antenna, singing its little heart out. Yay, birdies. Another sign of spring are these little glories of the snow, or snow glories. They've naturalized themselves throughout this lawn area and in the garden spaces. Aren't they just the cutest little things? And in this space here, which is below the barn underneath the shade of the maple, this is actually all going to come out next year, not this year. But it's loaded with these snow glories all over. Aren't they just the cutest things? So one project I've been working on as part of the whole, barn slope filling in project is I've been digging them up. They're little bulbs. I'll put the name down below of what these actually are, but look at these. Aren't they just glorious? They've actually botanically have changed the name. It's part of the Cilia family now, I think. Those crazy botanists keep changing the names on me. But anyway, I still call them snow glories or glory of the snow. And they're so cute. And the bees love them. So I've seen honeybees on these already. Anyway, so I'm digging these up and I'm relocating them up in here throughout the garden where they won't be messed with. And, some in the shade garden area. Oop, hi Susie. The shade garden area. But all this lawn is going to come out eventually. So I want to try to save as many of these as I can. They self-seed and they create little bulblets. So I will have thousands of these in a couple of years, and I'm so excited. Happy spring. Okay, well, that's it for today. Just a quick video. Wanted to update you on the greenhouse and our new chickens. And yeah, there's a lot that's going to be happening this week, I hope, now that it's going to start warming up. Keep your fingers crossed. The soil has thawed mostly, at least in the areas that I want to work in. So I'll be doing some wall building behind me in the barn slope garden, and getting some shrubs planted, and probably a lot of just cleanup and assessing what I have and what is coming back. Do some garden cut down cleanup in the pollinator garden to get that project started. And yeah, kind of assess the vegetable garden and see where that is. I think it's still too wet to start doing anything with the soil just yet, but the upper end where I have the perennial storage areas and the asparagus, that's dry enough, I think, once this last little bit of snow melts, that I could start doing some work there, composting and such. So things are going to start cranking up here pretty quick, I hope. And yeah, so there'll be lots more to come. So thank you for joining me today. I do appreciate that you're here, and do come back again. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.